All right, let's set the scene here. Picture this. It's 2021, and in the high-stakes world of enterprise tech, there's this huge debate going on, a real tug of war that was forcing companies to make a super tough call about their most important asset, their data. We're talking about a major technological crossroads. So, what was the big question on everyone's mind? I mean, every CIO, every IT leader was wrestling with this. Do we stick with what we know, keeping our databases safe and sound on premise inside our own data centers? Or do we take the leap and go all in on the public cloud? It really felt like one of those no-win situations, Like you were going to have to give up something big no matter what you chose. And yeah, let's break that down, because the dilemma was real. You had on-premise, right? That's your fortress. You get that airtight security, total control, and just raw, blazing performance. But then you've got the public cloud over here, and it's tempting. It's offering all this amazing flexibility, the power to scale up or down in a heartbeat, and let's be honest, a much nicer OpEx model for the finance department. It was a classic tug of war. But then something new hits the scene, and we're not just talking about another small incremental upgrade. Nope. This was a piece of engineering built from the ground up to be the strategic answer to this exact problem. Enter the Exadata X9. And its entire mission? To solve for location. Look, of course the X9 was faster. I mean, it had more flash storage, more compute power, all the stuff you'd expect. But that wasn't the real story here. The big idea, the absolute breakthrough, was how it just completely reframed that whole on-prem versus cloud debate. It was built to be the bridge between those two separate worlds. So how on earth did it pull that off? Well, the answer is in this brilliantly simple but really powerful new service model. It was the core idea that made this whole thing possible. They called it Clouded Customer. And think about what that means. You could get a full-blown public cloud system, we're talking hardware, software, the whole shebang, delivered and installed right inside your own secure data center. But, and this is the absolute key, it was still managed remotely by Oracle, just like it was part of their public cloud. So you got the best of both worlds. And here's how simple it was in practice. First, a pre-configured Exadata X9 rack literally shows up at your door. Next, you install it securely behind your own firewall. And then, from your perspective, you just use it like any other cloud service, while Oracle's engineers handle all the tough stuff, the management, the maintenance, remotely. It was basically the cloud, but in your house. Now, this was so much more than just a clever technical workaround. It completely changed the strategic conversation for businesses. This was the signal that a true hybrid future, one where you didn't have to make those painful compromises, had finally arrived. So back to 2021, with the launch of the X9, this new way of doing things became a real, tangible option. It was the moment Oracle really planted its flag in the ground and declared that, yep, the future of enterprise computing is absolutely hybrid. The impact here was huge, and it was really twofold. On the one hand, yes, you got the killer performance upgrades, way more flash, tons more compute. But the bigger deal was that this cemented the company's whole hybrid vision. It literally delivered cloud services inside the enterprise data center on the customer's terms. That had never really been done before at this scale. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The whole drama of having to choose was just over. That all-or-nothing decision between the security of on-prem and the flexibility of the cloud, it was suddenly a false choice. With the Exadata X9, you could actually have both. And that's what's so profound. The Exadata X9 wasn't just another box you bought. It was a service you consumed. It was definitive proof that the world's most powerful database machine could be delivered as a cloud service, no matter where on the planet you needed that service to physically live. And that, right there, is the legacy of the Exadata X9 in the history of databases. It elevated the entire conversation beyond just speeds and feeds and made it about something way more important. The revolution wasn't just about raw power anymore. It was about giving companies the choice and the flexibility to run their most critical stuff anywhere they wanted, without a single compromise.